Hello and welcome to the most exclusive club on the internet. I am Terry and this is Royson. Today we're going to talk all about unrequited love and why you should keep your feelings to yourself. Anyway, so we're going to start with Ask Reddit. I love doing Ask Reddit and we haven't done that in a while. We had a kick last time we did Ask Reddit. And this one comes with a story first. So we're going to go ahead and start. It's from 12 years ago. A total creeper hit on me at the pool. I'm 9 months pregnant. What are some of the best/worst pickup stories you have? Let me start my story by reiterating the fact that I am very, very pregnant. I am so hugely and obviously pregnant that people feel the need to approach me in public and offer their condolences for how pregnant I am. I'm not kidding.
That's sad.
Men and women alike have stopped me and just to say, you poor thing, I am so sorry, you look miserable. That is how pregnant I happen to be at the moment. That being said, my favorite place to be in the entire world is in a pool. Swimming makes me feel like a normal human being. The swelling in my hands and feet goes down. The pressure on my hip vanishes. The belly button goes back to being an innie. It's wonderful. Anyway, last weekend my friend texts me and asks me if I'm up for a swim. I certainly am up for a swim. However, it's a little after 8:30 and my condo's pool closes at 9. We decide to go to the pool at her apartment complex, which is open until 10. We make our way to the pool where the only occupant is a middle-aged guy wearing a swim cap and goggles. I don't pay him any mind, just figured it was a resident doing some evening laps. No big deal. He watches us get in the pool and says something I can't make out. I ask him to repeat himself and he says, I'll just swim over here. Okay. So my friend and I start chatting about nothing in particular and Mr. Swim Cap starts awkwardly butting into our conversation. He wasn't trying to add to it, he would just ask random questions, only we couldn't make out what he was trying to say. So we kind of brush him off, and he starts swimming around the pool, and keeps accidentally swimming into us. Keep in mind he's wearing goggles. So we move to another part of the pool and try to act like nothing's happening. He stops trying to swim into us and starts just staring at us. Then he asks something. The conversation goes as follows. Him, who are it? Me, what? Wanna eat? Dude, I can't understand what you're trying to say. Would you want to go on a date? Me, awkward pause. Are you talking to me or her? Motions toward my non-pregnant friend. Him, you, I think you're really attractive. Do you want a date? Me, I'm very flattered, but no thank you. So him, so you don't want a date? Yeah, I don't want to go on a date with you. Me, him, sorry. You have a man? Me, yes, I have a man and we're fixing to have a baby. Him, do you live together? Me, yes, we do. Him, so you don't want to go on a date? Dude, no, I don't want to go on a date with you. Him, but would you? Would I what?
Oh my God.
Go on a date with me. I think you're a really attractive person. Me, no, I'm done talking to you now. Please leave us alone. I go back to my friend and we start discussing exit strategies as the guy continues to talk to himself. Luckily, my friend's male neighbor decided to come hang out for a bit. Mr. Swimcap starts ranting at the neighbor about who knows what, mortgage companies maybe, so we try to enjoy the remainder of our time in the pool. A little while later, the security guard comes by to lock up my friend, her neighbor, and I bolt out of there while Mr. Swimcap is gathering his things. Good guy neighbor later walks me to my car to ensure there are no creepers lurking about. So tell me, Reddit, what are some of your pickup stories? Edit, I feel I should also share one of the best pickup lines I've ever heard. This was directed at one of my friends at a house party. Damn, look at those come fuck me eyes. Girl, I want to buy you diamonds and cook you breakfast. That's crazy.
Wow.
My goodness.
I mean, that's so like the other part of it is like I've been so long out of the game that I have no concept of what's normal. But like, still, I imagine saying like, for one, the obvious thing is like if someone says no, and then you keep asking over and over and over again,
just to be sure.
Yeah, like
I have to be sure.
I don't think you like are as cool as you think you are doing this.
Why
Especially
wouldn't you
when it's
want to
like,
date me? I asked you 3 times.
yeah.
Three
No,
is
but
the magic number.
I think you're attractive, so that's the only qualification we need to date.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to reciprocate that. It's one of those things. Keep it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your feelings to yourself. Keep your creepy attitude to yourself. Also, he's like way older than them. I think she didn't say a name. She didn't say a.
No, just middle-aged man.
She said middle-aged man, but I don't think she's that old either.
She's not going to refer to him as middle-aged man if she says that.
I
most
agree.
likely.
She's probably in her 20s, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But no, just creepy for so many reasons. Leave people alone.
Yeah. Especially if like it's obviously awkward that you're not able to talk to this person every single time you say something. They can't hear you. They're ignoring you. And you still like, that's just, once again, mental illness in all shapes and
Oh
sizes.
my gosh.
But yeah. Take
Lack
rejection
of
better.
respect as well.
Yeah. The come fuck me eyes is crazy. Oh gosh, she's seeing something crazy.
No, I just something funny. The
All right.
come fuck me eyes is pretty bad. And the diamonds, I'm gonna buy you diamonds. So someone pointed out in one of these comments that it's the worst URL shortening ever because it, they put the titles kind of in the URLs.
Mm-hmm.
So it just says a total creeper hit on me at the pool. I'm 9 and then cuts off.
Nice, nice.
Oh, that's way worse.
Yeah. But yeah, something kind of funny is like, I mean, there's like always a question of how you should do these things.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at a store recently, and then we ended up going to find 2 different things. And while I was looking somewhere, right beside me, I heard a guy on the phone go up to a girl, and then while on the phone be like, "Oh, sorry, actually, let me call you back. I just found my future wife." And then hangs up and proceeds to flirt with a girl. And it was interesting to like hear this go through, because the very first thing she did was just like, bye, like stop. But he ended up playing it off well enough to where he did get her number at the end. I think that's that idea of like the question of like, you have to be fully aware of like when the no really means just go away, go away. Because it's probably still like, maybe she could have just also given the number so that he'd go away in the first place.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like that from what I was listening, because they were actually having a conversation. But that comes the other part, is have a conversation first before you just jump on them. But yeah, I think that's like what I imagine that guy like thinks himself as. Like he probably thinks that he's like playing it off well. And then the reality is he's actually just really fucking annoying and creepy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
unfortunate.
it seemed to me he was probably like drunk or something. That's what I was thinking, because he was not speaking clearly and he was being weird and yeah, he could have been high. Moving on to some more of these little stories. I was arrested in high school for a spontaneous bout of stupidity. As I got into the cop car, I realized there was a teenager doing a ride along with the cop. I didn't think much of it, seeing as that I was, pretty busy focusing on how much trouble I was going to be in. A few days later, as I settled into my permanent grounding, I got on Facebook. Lo and behold, I have a Facebook message. The boy doing the ride along with the cop had written down my contact information and found me on Facebook just so he could send me, "Hey girl, I just wanted to know that I hated arresting a woman as beautiful as you."
Yeah, I don't know. Every single scenario of like, hey, public service thing, and then I took your information so I can message you directly, is always like, maybe you shouldn't do that.
I agree.
I think that's the other thing, is some people don't realize the fact that like you could let it go. Like you don't have to reach out and flirt with and hit on every single person you think is attractive.
Yes, sometimes it's inside thoughts.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're inside thoughts.
Yeah. Like it's okay. This isn't your only chance to ever talk to someone you think is attractive.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
Walking down the main street of a medium-sized town with my girlfriend and her sister. All right looking guy in all right looking car, maybe about 22 to 25. Pulls up and shouts to my sister, "Hey, you in the blue, come get in the car, go with me." Ugh. She shrugs, walks over, talks to him for a few seconds, gets in the car. They were married 4 months later. Last I heard, it was still going strong, but that's been a while.
Oh, sometimes it works. That's crazy.
What the heck?
You know what? I take it back. Okay.
No.
Do that crazy
That's an
stuff.
inside. That's an inside thought. What the hell? Oh my gosh. No. No.
That's one of those things where if you're attractive enough, sometimes you can just do stupid shit and it works.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll do one more. And then we'll move on to the other stories that we have for today. My parents were walking through Target when this stumpy guy walks up to my mom. He says, sugar zero, sugar zero. My mom laughs and asks him what he means. The guy goes, if anybody asks, you can tell them that I whispered sweet nothings to you. My dad was laughing too hard to care.
That's a really good one. That's so dumb. Oh, that's funny.
For some reason, they felt it was relevant to mention that it was a little person, but not in a very nice way.
Oh, that's what
but
they
that
meant.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
That doesn't matter to the story. They just wanted to be assholes.
What did they say again?
So first they said, this is not appropriate, but they said, my parents were walking through Target when this stumpy guy walks up to my mom. And then the TLDR says, mom got told sweet nothings by a gnome. And then one of the comments under that says, Tyrion got mad game, son. So I just think all of that is highly inappropriate.
I don't know if they're like trying to say it was actually a little person or just a short guy.
I don't think he would be called a gnome.
I mean, that's a way to make fun of a short guy.
I don't know.
But even still, Tyrion do got game. That's I don't know. That's a hilariously great line.
Dude,
it's just
the Tyrion got game is kind of funny, but
yeah. Well, no, the zero sugar thing.
But anyway, so we'll go ahead and move on to our next one. But I think we're gonna read. I think my friend has eyes for my wife, huh?
Okay.
Okay, let me pull it up. All right, so this one is from Boru, which is Best of Redditor Updates. It was originally from Am I Overreacting, and it was originally posted in September of 2024. So, I have a wife that I've been with for over 10 years and married for 3. We have a 10-month-old son now. I recently met a guy who turns out to have a lot of common interests with me, both into finance, fitness, and stuff. I'm into stuff too.
Yeah.
We started hanging out more and work out together weekly in my home gym garage. Obviously, we're spending time together and we shoot the shit often. His situation is that he's single, a father of a 7-year-old girl, and his ex is a super bitch to him. She publicly walks down to him the few times we all went out to dinner together. He still has to see her because they are co-parenting because he's been trying to date for the past year. Anyway, we got on the topic of what he's looking for in a girl because he keeps on going on dates, and they all suck according to him, and none of the girls are his type. So I ask what his type is, and he starts describing the traits of my wife. Could be a coincidence. Whenever we go to dinner, he'll be telling a story or whatever and show a picture on his phone, but only to my wife. I have to ask him to see what the picture is before he puts it away. Not that I care that much, but feels sus. Whatever. Yeah. We've been hanging out more and having game night at my place with him and a few other friends. Whenever he's in the presence of my wife, he takes my son and puts him on his shoulders and plays with him in front of her. Makes weird comments, at least I think so, in front of my wife, like, I love being a father and providing for a family. Or, I wish I had a wife that was as good at raising kids as you. Or, let me know if I can help you in any way with your son. Always directed to my wife and never me.
Yeah, that's a big...
Okay,
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The thing is, these comments have been setting off eye raises for me. When I was working out with him the other day, I said, do you think my wife is attractive? He said, oh, hell yeah, dude. Your wife is hot. I said thanks, but it raised my antenna even more. Now the reason I'm writing this is because his recent comment to me was, do you think your wife can find a girl for me at her workout class that looks like her? He shouldn't have said that.
No.
The looks like her was an inside thought as well.
Yeah.
I think that might be the title.
Yeah, inside
thoughts
should stay inside.
This coupled with what happened the other day at dinner. We were going to dinner with him and his family that were in town. It was at a big shopping center, so we were waiting at a Starbucks for them to arrive at the restaurant. He comes to the Starbucks that we where we are while his family is at the restaurant. He waves and says, "We are ready." I start packing my son's bag while my wife handles the stroller. This dude grabs my son and puts him on his shoulders and starts walking out. My wife is walking out and I'm grabbing the bag. Now I'm literally watching this guy walk next to my wife holding my child while she's pushing the stroller and I'm trailing them. What I felt I was watching a couple and their child, and I was seeing and I was seething and feeling displaced. Am I overreacting? Because I'm cutting this a-hole off, not letting him anywhere near my wife and kid again. If we happen to see him on a social setting of 6 or less, we are leaving.
Yeah, that's, I mean, yeah. The main thing is the question of, do you address it or not, or just cut off? And it's like, I guess if you're not close enough with the guy, but I would say you were probably close enough with the guy considering he came over to your house every week to work out. So like maybe address it before you cut him off. But
yeah, that's true. Like, you were friends. Why didn't you address it the first couple times you found something inappropriate?
Yeah.
Because you didn't feel like it was worth, like, thinking he was going to try to steal your wife, but clearly you were uncomfortable with it. So just say, "Hey, dude, like, I'm uncomfortable with you making comments like that." I understand it would be a little hard to address the phone thing where it's like he's only showing something to your wife because I could see that
but
getting
like
gaslit real fast.
But all of it is still like under the premise of, have you confronted him or not, right? Because if you've confronted him and then he does shit like that, then it starts getting a little bit more, okay, I'm not okay with this. If that was all it was, then once again it wouldn't really matter as much. But there's still so much more to it too.
Yeah, I feel like either way, it was in this story is probably going to end up in a similar way because the guy clearly is crushing on his wife. Very clearly, right? Yeah. But
like, you're friends with the husband, but you still keep doing these things towards the wife. Yeah,
I think it would have been healthier for him to bring it up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Bring some of it up before it started happening.
Yeah, but if the guy doesn't feel like he owes the person, then fine. Like, I mean, you're cutting off a friend, and it's like it sucks for that person. And so the main question is just like, do you think that guy knows what he was doing enough to realize this is why he cut me off? Or do you care even? Right?
I mean, maybe, but I do feel like it's just healthier in general. Like, for something very obvious, I think, to bring up was like when he said his wife was hot, and then later he said, "What? Do you think your wife can find me a girl for me that at her workout class that looks like her?" I would have said, "Hey, I feel like that's kind of inappropriate. I'll ask her, but I'm not going to say the looks like her thing because I feel like that's hella inappropriate."
Yeah.
Like,
you could just say that is attractive, and that would have been completely
that's
fine.
attractive.
Yeah.
Like, brown hair, green eyes, something like that.
And then proceeds to start describing the wife in detail.
Well, it's there's like an archetype of the wife. He can't help it if that's the type of woman he's attracted to, but he can help the very creepy specific things he is saying about the wife and the kids. He wants this guy's kids too.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, like, what was he saying? Stuff about like, let me know if there's anything you'd like," or like, "Oh, I wish I had a wife that was as cool as you." Or like good with kids as you, and he's like hanging out with the kids too.
Yeah.
Ignoring the husband at the same time.
Yeah, that's the worst part of this all. Because it'd be like neutral if he was doing this with both of them. Then it'd be like, hey, you're being neutral. And that's more. But like, you're obviously giving special treatment. So like, and like, this is to the person who's not the friend, not the person you're hanging out with a lot. So yeah.
He's trying on the shoe before he buys. He's going to murder the husband.
Oh my gosh.
Man. He needs to keep his feelings to himself. All right, so there's an edit. I asked my wife if he ever texted her or contacted her in any way on text message. She said no. I told her just now I feel he's peacocking, and she said she doesn't get that vibe at all from him. Edit. A female friend came over tonight who mutually knows this guy. She agreed that it's strange and thinks he's crushing on my wife, intentionally or not, and told my wife to her face that. I told my wife that if another female can see it, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Why my wife now says she feels embarrassed that she doesn't see it and says it'll be awkward now because she doesn't want him to think of him. She doesn't want to think of him looking her at that way. Both her and the friend think it's best if only if we only see him in social settings with large groups and not at our house again.
Yeah.
Lesson. Seems the general consensus is to trust my gut if I feel something is off, and it does. Going to talk to the wife and then tell this dude straight and then ghost him. I think that's wise.
Yes.
I think it's kind of...
Talk to parties involved, yeah.
This is technically a tangent, but I do think it's funny, the thing about if the other woman can see it, then it's very obvious. I can never see when somebody likes me unless they're like literally trying to hit on me at that moment.
Yeah, but also you could see that for other people too. And that's
What do
the
you
other
mean?
thing. Like you could probably see if someone's hitting on someone else pretty easily. So
Well,
like that's like kind of the point of it too.
hitting
It's like-
on or coming on to.
Yeah. Like it's
I-
harder to notice when someone's hitting on you, like for like me, like notice someone's hitting on me, but I can see it a lot easier if I see someone hitting on someone else, like being the third person viewer. But I always just assume no, I'm sure they're just being nice. I think it's just how it always goes.
I don't even assume they're being nice. I just assume they're being a weirdo like me. I used to get told all the time I was flirting, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, huh? I probably gave a lot of people the wrong idea just because my normal demeanor, it might still be. It's like just very like flirty, like flirtatious, but just being silly and jokey, I never considered to be flirtatious.
Yeah, and you never say. I mean, that's because it's not flirty. Like, oh, I think you're so attractive or something.
Yeah, it's not that kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
But a lot of people flirt that way, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that some people flirt by being like jokey in a certain way, and I guess that's why. I don't know, but
Well, you know what's funny is I have an issue with this actually, because in high school and shortly after high school, you'd see a lot of people who aren't coupled up yet, right? Like, and I wasn't dating either. Me and him were dating other people or not at all. Mostly not at all for me. Wait, I didn't date anybody. That's so boring. That's so boring. Anyway, sorry. But for me, I would like watch people be flirty on purpose, and it's clearly working because they have the attention of like the guys or whoever within like the group or whatever. And I'm over sitting here like, that is so cringe. Like, I find that to be the cringiest thing on the planet. But it's just like a little mating dance that the humans do. You know what I mean?
you're so autistic. It's a little mating dance that the humans do. That is, oh my god.
Do you know what I'm saying, though? Like, now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, like, that's not actually that weird. But at the time, I'm like, I don't like these people. I'm like, I understand being on the receiving end of it. Like, if the other opposite person that doing the flirting, you're reciprocating because they're like flirting at you and they're already cute and like and you guys are being silly and all that. But being the person to initiate that sounds like one of the cringiest things on the planet. But also, in my effed up mind, having someone know that you're into them or that you like them is one of the worst things ever on the planet. And that is why I cannot date. Because I would... I'm married. Anyway, because for me, growing up, and I could not shake it when I became an adult, me having someone know that I'm into them makes me want to like slither into a cave and die. And that is why I did not date much in high school or any other time. Like Tinder is different because we're all there for the exact same reason. Well, not the same reason, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but the potential of like knowing like you like someone and then like they don't necessarily like you back or something like that.
Yeah,
you can't risk that.
I can't risk that because that is the most shameful thing on the planet. Seppuku, seppuku. It's like a fear of rejection, but framed in a whole different way.
You're such a nerd for that. Anyway, good.
Seppuku.
Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of guys go through. To be fair, so
yeah,
you just got lucky enough to be the girl.
I got lucky enough to be. No, I used to think about this when I was a kid because I grew up in a super patriarchal I don't want to say society, but you know what I mean. And
Society.
and like the boy's responsible for doing all of these things and initiating everything, and especially in like Mormonism, because I grew up Mormon. For like the young kids, you know, who are like starting to date and everything, they are supposed to. The boys are supposed to like just ask people out all the time, and like you're supposed to just date for fun and not be so serious about it, and like date multiple people, and then only when you're like ready to get married at like 19 are you supposed to like pair up, you know what I'm saying? 21 for boys. Anyway, and so for me, I was like, oh, I do not want to be a boy. I'm so glad I'm a girl. I was always thinking those things because I don't want to deal with it. Anyway, now that I've given you some of my inside thoughts, we can finish the story.
The inside thoughts I probably should have stayed inside.
I know. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, that's lore about me. Let me go back to this story. So there are some comments. Why are you still inviting this guy over? The first time he creeped on your wife should have been the last time. Speak up. Someone else. Speak up. He'll apologize or go away. Either way, I'd let him know his actions are not acceptable. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And the poster said, the thing is, he's never directly said anything flirty to her, but it's more of these weird general comments. Yeah, like when they're being just cryptic enough to just broad enough to where it's like, they can gaslight you about it. I think it's really like a fear of gaslighting because it's so easy to gaslight somebody when it's just something little that kind of disappears into the air.
Yeah. Which is why that dude's doing it on purpose.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. Because like saying something outward flirty is then it's obvious. Well, as opposed to like you just slowly slide your way in and then hope that eventually it could turn to something.
True. Someone else said, how does a river get through a mountain? One drop at a time. How does an affair happen? One innocent interaction at a time. You said he's very similar to you. That means he's your wife's type. We already know your wife is his type, and he's looking for a new partner / mother for his child. Damn, he's even poaching your son. Like, what is happening? Before you know it, he's going to start bringing the family dog treats. Okay. So the judgment was he's not an asshole for this.
Yeah.
There's an update 22 days later.
Okay.
Which was the 23rd of September in 2024. Here's the update. After all the advice, thank you all, I decided to go the slow cutoff method rather than being direct.
Oh, gosh.
Mainly because my thinking is that if you tell someone that you're wise to their BS, they may just try to be more covert, cover their tracks, and be sneakier with their behavior or try to buy sympathy with mutual friends. That's a good point. There was a party we were invited to at his house before all this unfolded, and I told my wife we aren't going. This caused a bit of a tension within our house because it got pretty heated because while she thinks he's doing it subconsciously, she had zero interest in him, so it doesn't bother. And she said she doesn't even notice until I brought it to her attention. Needless to say, the fact that it caused an argument and drama for me was more than enough grounds for me to never have this dude around my wife and kid ever again. Anyway, because he was already introduced to all of my friends in the group, he invited all of them to this party. We didn't go, and a few friends asked if we were going. I explained the situation, and a few of them agreed that they saw what I saw. They said that they were not going to the party. One couple did decide to go because they and him became close over the fact that they both really are into sports. The girl texted my wife and told her that they were the only couple that showed up. So really, my friends are the only ones he invited. But wow.
Does
He's
he
trying
not
to
have his own friends?
you.
Yeah.
Interesting. But she also said he had a girl there with him. They said the girl barely spoke English, but he did say they were dating, but she was acting very odd. Now, this is the part where I'm not sure if he was made aware of any discontent with him that I had, because I'd already started cutting him off. Not answering calls and not initiating texts, being very curt with my responses, like cool bro, etc. After this party, he randomly texts me photos of him with his girlfriend protesting how hot she is and what a great cat she is, and how they're dating. One phrase he used, which further raised my suspicions, was, "It'll be good to go on a double date so you can see I have a girl." Wow. I'm thinking to myself, why would he care about that, and what an odd thing to say. I asked how they met, and he said Tinder. I asked to see the convo. He deleted the convo. He sent her Instagram photos, and she has 37,000 followers, and a half of her photos are of her in Dubai, London, etc., doing lewd photo shoots. Considering he is a strip club kind of guy, this makes me think he may be paying for his companionship just to get his foot back in the door, but I could be wrong. So all is right. I'm plenty busy with work, and wife and I are fine. Son is happy as can be, and I'm going to make sure I keep the grass cut so I can see the snakes before they get to my door. Thanks everyone for the reassurances. That's what I tell my waxer. I'm just kidding.
Wow, 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 wow. Did you think of that just as you read it or as you said it?
Just as I read it.
Nice. That's wow. Wow, wow. I mean, it's pretty good. Can't even argue.
I do feel like that was pretty quick. My brain still got it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an inside thought, but that's the theme of today.
Yeah.
You guys can decide if that should have stayed in my brainio. All right. So there's a few comments, but do you have any comments about this? I do kind of think maybe she is a stripper that he just hired. She's like, sure, I'll make some extra cash.
Yeah. I mean, especially the like doesn't know English very well and is like, how are you relating to this person? But that's always the question, unless this guy knows her language too. Like, it doesn't really make sense. And then also just like, yeah, so like we should hang out so you can see I have a girlfriend. It's definitely super weird. Which I don't know. Like, I mean, it could be that just trying to get your foot back in the door to get back to the wife again, or to be like, hey, I heard that like you think that there's a problem, and so I'm trying to show you that I'm with someone else in order for us to still be friends. But like either way, no one's being direct, and it's really annoying. And he does bring up a kind of a point of like, if he really feels this person's trying to be sneaky, then there's like, it's just no point in trying to like do anything. So if he's sure, like if like you're sure that someone's trying to be sneaky, then there's no point in trying to like tell them, hey, I don't like what you're doing, because they know that they're doing something they don't like. Yeah.
And to expand on that a little further, the narcissism playbook is that's kind of like some of their game. So if you ever watch Dr. Ramani on YouTube, she's great. She teaches so much about narcissism, and you should definitely watch her content. She posts a lot too. Anyway, so she, and this is also just known, if you know anything about how dealing with narcissists, never call them out on their BS to their face. Never do that, because all that does is give them ammo to change what they're doing and get sneakier, like, you know, what we've been talking about. All that does is, and then they know their ploy isn't working, and so they might drop the veil and get even worse, or they'll go around and start manipulating things in a different way. It doesn't go well. They're not going to take it well. It's kind of like if they're backed into a corner. It doesn't really matter the situation, even if you feel like you got them. Like, unless they're being carted away to jail at the same time, then you're not really safe to confront them. It is not worth your time. It is not worth the effort that it takes, and it is not great. It's like training AI. You're basically training the AI to go back and attack you some other way. Not that AI is attacking people, but you know, Terminator's going to happen one day. So anyway, but that's what they say, is never call them out on their BS, stonewall them, let them go, and let them wonder why all their friendships failed. And then they can try again later with less information to screw somebody else over. It's kind of like, I've heard a lot of people talk about how if you break up with a dude and you tell him, this is the things that I don't like, then he might just hide those in his next relationship instead. And then she finds out way later. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, shitty people are going to be shitty people. It's better to just drop them, save your peace later. If you want to, as a, breakup, say this is the things why, but you don't owe anybody that necessarily.
It's going to be for your own comfort if you want to like yell at them about what they did wrong, like for your sake, as long as you're still full cutting them off. but like also know that you're giving them ammo for their next person.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad because like, you know, you feel like in a closure way, you want to really like get back at them or something.
But that
it's
works
not
for
helpful.
like, it's more helpful for people who actually care or want to be better. And sometimes people don't want to be better. They just want to be worse, if anything. Yeah.
Right. There's actually more comments, but I'm not going to read all of them because they're not anything that's like we haven't already said.
Yeah.
But this, I'm not going to tell the story because it's not my story, but something similar-ish happened to somebody I know, and it was very insidious. I'm not going to tell the story here unless I get permission. I'm going to tell them that they should post on Reddit.
Yeah, and
because
then we'll just
now
read
that
it,
I just thought of that while I was reading this, and I was like, dang, I should ask them if they'll post that on Reddit. Like, they might actually. I'll ask them.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to say any more of the story because, again, it's not my story to tell. But that was just really, really interesting of, like, how insidious people can be and how people might come into your life with a plan. Like this guy, I feel like he came into this guy's life with a plan. Maybe it didn't get hashed out in the beginning, but still, man, that's crazy. Okay, we have one more story and then we're ending the video because we are still doing our short video formats, so it's going to be not as many stories as normal. Let's see. What was the one we were going to read, babe? I remember, it was about D&D.
Yes.
So explain what D&D is in the shortest format you can.
Basically, it's kind of like playing a board game because there are rules. Yeah, it's like a universal board game in a way where there's rules and you have a story, but sometimes the game is like where you just tell people, hey, this is a scenario. Like you're in the woods and you hear a noise. What do you do? And then the person answers like what they would try to do.
Like a role play.
Yeah. Role play.
But it's long form. So you meet...
It can be. Yeah.
Typically you meet like weekly or every once in a while, and you're playing the same game each time.
I guess I should tell it in relation
to
this. Okay,
you're going to meet people and you're going to play the same characters, a different section, kind of like reading a book. You're reading the first chapter.
Yeah, you're
then
creating
next
a
week
story.
You're reading the second chapter, and then the next week you're reading the third chapter. Only you were creating the book as you go for this game.
Yeah.
And typically it's like, like 4 to 6 people in a group, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
And there's usually like one person who's the director of the story. And then everyone else is like the players. So the person who directs the story is the one like...
Is the
deciding the
master.
rules. Yeah. Dungeon master decides the rules and decides the story and then like, or guides you in a way. But yeah.
All right. So this story is from D&D Horror Stories. So we've never read anything from D&D Horror Stories. It is titled, My Player Fell in Love with Me, the DM, but I'm married and one of my players is my husband. Again, inside feelings and inside thoughts. I'm typing this on mobile, so apologies for the formatting. I've been playing D&D with my husband for 5 years, and this is my first campaign. DMing.
Wow.
We are playing with his friend group who are Pat, Marie, Dylan, not real names. We've been playing for the last 3 months and everything has been going great so far. Party works well together and there's really no issue except Dylan.
Unfortunately.
Dylan's are always brats.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding. Dylan is playing a half-orc barbarian who fell in love with a half-elf named Shelia, and this has been a progressing storyline. For reference, he is not the only one who is romancing an NPC, and the rest of the party has not professed their love over text to me. After... Okay.
Spoiler alert, damn.
Yeah, she just dropped that. After the session last night, the group went home and Dylan sent me a bunch of texts saying that he had noticed tension between us and that we can't deny it and he is open to taking the next steps.
Oh.
I am horrified, of course, and inform my husband immediately because this is his friend. His husband texts Dylan for a bit, then calls and berates him for his actions. Dylan then says that my husband is standing in the way of our love, and my husband hangs up and blocks him on both of our phones. We discuss next steps and decide to cancel D&D for the time being because I am freaked out.
Yeah.
The rest of the group are understanding, but man, this has been a weird Christmas.
Damn.
This was
3
weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, there's feelings there. It's undeniable. Once again, it's mental illness. It really is.
You think that kind of thinking is mental illness?
Some form or fashions like extreme delusion. Yeah.
Really?
You have to be delusional to like be so sure that there's a thing between you and a married person so hard that you decide to text them that
without even testing the waters.
Yeah.
Just confessing.
Yeah, and like full on, like, you know, there's something between us. I'm ready to take the next step.
What anime crap is he been watching?
Seppuku, look at us.
Seppuku! Yeah. No, this is seppuku long form.
Yeah.
Murder by confessing feelings.
I'm just saying, like, he's the type of person who would say seppuku. Anyway,
if we're making that connection right, that means that I'm a person that would do this.
It's all great,
sir.
No, but like
so
the anime
rude.
form. But yeah, no, he's definitely doing some anime form with
Kawaii
this.
desu.
Oh God, stop, please. It's painful.
Dangerous.
Stop,
desu.
please. It hurts. Okay.
Daisuki.
Okay, you know what? If we get canceled now, it's okay. I understand.
Anyway.
Wow, so many things. But yeah, no, this dude is crazy. Like, to like, also, yeah, doing it, you're right. I didn't even think about the fact that he is like anime style, essentially trying to like hit on this girl with the whole like, you know, I'm ready to take the next step.
Yeah. You know, like when the little nerdy kid runs up, he's like screaming his inner thoughts about how he feels about some random girl, and then she's got tears in her eyes, and you know.
Oh! You mean like in the show?
It's a trope.
Yeah,
it's a trope.
I thought you were talking about real life. I was like, what do you mean?
Nobody does that in real life. Nobody does that in real life.
For good
That's
reason.
not what I'm talking about.
This is the exact reason why you do not do that in real life.
No.
Yeah.
Just.
I'm ready to take the next steps. Your husband's in the way of our love. Like, you know,
You're right.
the husband immediately finding out because the wife told him maybe means there's not a love connection and you should not be doing this. Whatever. Yeah.
Over text.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine she is into you. You're leaving a trail for her husband to find.
At the least, that means he's a bad narcissist. So this is how he learns, and then the next time,
low IQ narcissist.
Yeah, he's like level 1 narcissist right now. He's not mafia boss.
He's like he's like a couple $1 billion away from Elon.
Oh my gosh, that's wow. Damn.
Same brain.
To give a point to Elon, it's a little bit more than a couple billion.
Missing,
that's about it.
You know who did it.
Elon, really? Oh my gosh.
Blame Elon.
Okay, no. That's more like our reason that we never have a Twitter. So if a Twitter is made with our account, it's probably not us. So that's the main thing.
Wait, do I have one? No. I have a Threads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just did Threads.
Now Zuckerberg can come after us, and he totally has ammo. But
oh yeah. So let me see. So there are some comments about this. Someone said, "Weird as fuck. Sorry you're having to deal with this, but it sounds like you're both responding correctly. Maybe just eject this dude from the group and keep going. Just write him out." She replies, "That is probably what we will do, but I'm sad my first time DMing has been tainted because of this." Yeah. Well, they should turn him into take his character, kick him out, keep his character. Turn it into the villain.
No, just
in the campaign.
That's too much. Just turn it into this like on the way, some asshole They're just there that they fucking murder. Anyway,
someone said, well, another way of looking at this is that you did a very, very good job. Doesn't necessarily remove the ick factor or other complicated emotions adjacent to DMing right now, but hopefully those will fade and you can get back to running sessions. It sounds like you and others love.
That's so funny. You did so good at being the NPC that flirts with him that he actually wants you. Oh, that's so...
Dude.
I mean, it's basically what happened.
She said, haha, thanks. Husband wants me to continue as he thinks I'm doing a great job, but he is married to me, so he has to think I'm doing a good job.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to think if there's any other like particularly like important valid responses. Does she respond to anybody else?
Yeah, that's still thinking about the fact that it does really fuck you up if it's like your first time DMing. And I feel like that's probably as a very common thing of like, I mean, it's a general common thing of like women in anything end up getting some kind of harassment that way more often. And especially it sucks when it comes to like role playing, because it's like the people who don't separate this from real life. Yeah, that's very sad.
Right. So I wanted to see if there's any more relevant comments. Someone says it's simply put, it's not your fault. Dylan has issues that are his alone, and I'm guessing is a younger guy who either hasn't ever been in a relationship or just has problems with women. A stable person can tell the difference between a role being played with an NPC and thinking the DM is coming on to you. A favorite at my table is the time I, as an NPC, got into a heated argument with my girlfriend, her bard. The rest of the players were freaked out because they thought we were actually fighting. I had to break midway through to let everyone know that no, we aren't angry at each other. Brother John and Moira were angry at each other. Wow, these are theater kids. Anyway,
yeah,
she replied,
I'm so good at arguing with my wife that I can do it in a game, no problem.
See, like sometimes I do the same thing with Roy, but I don't tell him that we're joke fighting, and then he gets actually mad.
I joke fight too, but my husband doesn't.
Maybe that's not what I think it is. I'm just having that thought right now. If one side of you doesn't know it's a joke fight, then it's just a fight where one of you's being an ass. Sorry, honey.
I'm glad that you finally realized.
Because you know when I'll like say something rude to you, I did it like at least 3 times today. I'll say something nasty, not nasty necessarily, but like something like rude. I'll be like, and then you'll like come at me real, and I'm like, I'm just joking. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm not actually fighting with you. Like, I'm just playing. And, of course, you know, if you do it enough times without letting your partner know you're about to fake fight with them, maybe that's something for me to think on.
Just maybe.
Any therapists out there? Just kidding. So, anyway, some... what was I saying? A favorite at my table is a time... Oh, heated argument. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The OP replied, one would think so, but he's 36 to 37. My husband thinks I am just so irresponsible.
Yeah,
that's
what?
Not right. Irresistible. That of course he fell in love with me. But he's my soulmate, so of course he thinks that.
That's funny.
That's really cute. Overall, he's dated some women and was in a long-term relationship for a bit, but then broke up on mutual terms. I think he's going through something and taking it out on me.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yep, delusions. But yeah. Overall, hopefully not all of our D&D sessions go like this, you know.
Yeah, and she did mention they're all in their mid-30s, so this childish behavior definitely is what they call arrested development, where you're not appropriately aging into maturity, and your brain is a little wired. I blame the drugs.
Oh. Yeah, they're not doing enough. So, overall, guys, if you play D&D, please don't think that the person in real life likes you. So much so that you have this much confidence. You could at least like say something of the maybe variety rather than just be like full on. And then like your husband's getting in the way.
Float something out there.
Yeah. And then accept rejection if it comes. that's the other really important thing.
Be like, just float. Hey, like, have you ever thought about leaving your husband? Because I think about it every day.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yes, do that. Go ahead.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's probably better ways, but sure.
But at least that's floating it out there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's floating something
It is
out there.
better than what he did.
You know what? His whole everything was inside thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
He should have kept all of those feelings to himself.
Or keep it on the board at least.
And just gotten a sock.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to do.
Anyway, I think this was probably around our Valentine's special. So if so, happy Valentine's. If not, then I hope everyone's single. Yeah, aside from that.
If you have any crushes on anybody, keep it to your fucking self.
Or post it in the comments. Say the crush here. I'm sure they were not going to see it. Go ahead.
Us your inside thoughts. Get the video flagged. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god! I was gonna say if you got to this point in the video, make a D&D reference just because.
And
it's fun.
tag Elon so he sends somebody to get us.
What the heck? Oh my gosh, he could actually do that. Please stop. He's literally the richest man in the world and a huge part of the government now. I don't want that mess.
He's a little bitch.
Okay, relax. I try to start fights with someone that I'm not going to win that fight on. I want him and Zuckerberg to fight. I'm still sad that they didn't do their real fight. Like forever ago,
It's
when
because
Elon was
Zuckerberg
trying
got
to
built.
Yeah, Zuckerberg has been built. But yeah, overall, make a D&D reference in the comments if you got to this far.
Yeah, say something about D&D if you got this far, or just say D&D.
Mm-hmm. Or tell us who your crush is. Either way.
Yes, confess in the comments. That is an appropriate place to confess your feelings, unless they're from me, because I will blast them.
I mean, actually do it so that we can blast. But
actually, no. If anybody has a secret crush on me, look, I'm not getting any younger.
Okay.
And neither is he.
Okay.
So if you
have you ever thought about leaving your husband?
If you have a crush, just go ahead and let me know through DMs, and I will not show him.
Yeah. Thanks. Even though we share the account too.
I will not show my husband your crushes.
Audio listeners, she's not crossing her fingers. Go ahead and do it.
Oh yeah, if you're just listening, that sounded weird. Anyway, so I guess we'll finally end now that we're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Mm-hmm.
So tune in next week, and we will have another couple stories for you.
Great ender. All right. Well, anyway, bye.
Bye. Happy Valentine's Day, maybe, if that's when we put this up. Who knows?
Who knows?